Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well, and welcome to the Level Design Lobby. You all know what time it is, my amazing people. It is that time again where I share some of the most interesting and really cool reads that I've found within this last month. Some that I've just really enjoyed, and I recommend them to you. So without further ado, let's talk about some really cool stuff. Hey everyone, I hope you're well, playing and or making the games that you love. You're joining me, your host, Max Pears, as we talk about, as is that time, as I mentioned earlier, some amazing reading and watching and listening materials for all of you amazing people. I think it's always important to share this because this path for that all of us are on is about growing and learning, and because of this, we have to keep getting better, and it's about recommending some really cool sources that I've found and hopefully that you will eventually share with me. I know a lot of people share them on the Discord as well, so that's awesome. So yeah, this has been really cool. This one's going to be a slightly shorter episode than normal. I do apologize. I've just got back from Paris, and it was really cool. And I've got to go for a run soon with Kendall, which is going to be awesome. Just know that it's going to be absolutely freezing, but it'll be great fun. Okay, so without much further ado, let's get into some stuff that you should check out. Numero uno. The first one I want to recommend, and I've recommended it previously on the show, is Celia Hodent's book, A Gamer's Brain, which is about the amazing stuff with UX design and UX learning. I'm not finished the book yet, but I'm absolutely loving this book. I think it's a fantastic read. I really, really am enjoying it. So many nuances, which are just fantastic, and the detail it goes into. I was reading it on the plane to and from Paris, and it was absolutely incredible read so far. And as I said, I'm not finished yet, but I'm really, really enjoying the book. I recommend anyone to check it out, and it's great for us, especially as level design, because that experience, that user experience, takes place within our levels. Sometimes, obviously, in menus as well, but a lot of it happens in our levels. So we need to think how we can use user experience for people as well. You know, and it's awesome. It's truly, truly awesome. So I cannot recommend checking out her stuff. I think she is by far one of the smartest people, I think, in the industry right now. That's a huge praise, I know, but she definitely is just really, really smart. She's fantastic, and I love reading her work. I got to watch and listen to one of her talks as well. And yeah, I cannot say enough nice things about her. She's a very, very awesome person and a really, really amazing designer. So I strongly recommend you all check that out. And then next, we have for number 2, we move on to an article on Gamma Sutra called "Don't Mean a Thing If You Ain't Got That Swing" in Spider-Man. Do you know, that's a great title. I think that's half the reason I suggested this, because the title is fantastic. No, I'm joking around though. I think what's really cool with this is I've just started to play Spider-Man, and it is a really, really good game. I'm having a great time so far. I'm not very far in. About just finished the bit after the tutorial. And it's great. So far I've had a great time. But it's talking about how they got the swinging mechanics right. How they took their time and how important this is to a Spider-Man game. And they talk about how this is one of their key pillars, and we've talked about key pillars in a previous episode as well, and I think it's fantastic. Also, as I said, I've been told the swing gets even better within the as you progress throughout the game, which is great news. I'm really enjoying this. Honestly, there's a lot more detail to this than I even thought about. You know, even the same with their combat. They really have taken time to find that flow of Spider-Man. I'm really, really enjoying it so far. It's definitely a great game, and it's one I intend to play after I finish recording and editing this episode. So do check this out. I think it's always cool to see how they've taken the time to look into such a mechanic as this. It's a nuance in a sense, because you know there's other great mechanics in that game, but I think it's great what they've done with it. So I do recommend checking that one out. Then we have another article from number 3, which is about which is on Gamma Sutra as well. It's called "A Different Approach to Difficulty," and this is great because they're breaking down how difficulty within games has progressed, firstly throughout games, throughout our time period of this, but also it's talking about how each of these modes currently have different problems, and there's cool things for them, but there's also some bad and negative things against them, which is obviously a bit of a shame. However, I do recommend checking this out because I really enjoyed how, and it's written by Alex Vu, and I hope I've said the last part correctly. Last part, your last name, sorry, sir. And it's a great one because it's about how, just how much detail and thought does go into difficulty, and it's not an area of design that's spoken enough about, in my opinion. I mean, it's definitely not an area of design that I think about, when designing games, or should think about more. Really, should we put it honestly? I think it's great they've done this. I think there's some really nice stuff going on here, and I think it's definitely worth the read. There's some great stuff going on about how it has progressed and how different companies design with difficulty. And I'm be very, very interested to see how difficulty will be designed moving forward with the games, because some of these ideas, are only a generation or a couple generations old, while others have been around for, since the beginning. I mean, difficulty's changed when you think about how difficulty was made in arcades as well. So I think it's great to see all this stuff. So I really do recommend checking out this one. This was a pleasant read in terms of, just so much to go on here that I just really did enjoy and cannot recommend any more to all of you amazing peeps. Now, before we continue, I do want to have a quick shout out to the Patreon. So stick around to hear what we have to say about the Level Design Lobby's Patreon.
If you love game and level design as much as we do, then why not consider supporting Level Design Lobby on Patreon? Patreon is a crowdfunding platform that allows people to directly fund the content and creators that they love. From as little as $1 per month, you can help support us in our mission to unite and teach people across the world about the wonderful and unique field of game and level design, and get some great reward perks in return, such as access to the Level Design Lobby community Discord, bi-monthly webinars, level design weekends, and much more. So head on over to patreon.com/Level Design Lobby for more information and to pledge your support today. Finally, we'd just like to say a massive thank you to all our current backers. It's thanks to the generous support of people like you that we are able to grow and can continue to bring you awesome, new and exciting content. So thank you. And now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Awesome. And again, we just want to thank all those who do support. I really do appreciate all the support that you have given me throughout this launch. It's been phenomenal to have everyone's support, and even if you're not on the Patreon, those who do listen to the podcast, I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I think it's great to have all of you amazing people here. It's fantastic. I really am a fan of every one of you for taking the time to listen to this, and for you to all support me through Patreon as well is gotten even better. And as I said, the great news is we're getting a video editor soon. I've just been doing a couple of setups for the interviews, so hopefully you'll see some more of this cool stuff done in YouTube. With that though, there will only be like 1 or 2 video properly edited a month, due to the fact that the beginning of the month is the essential reading, and then the end of the month is the Q&A, which I don't think need a proper high-end video put together for now. Maybe that'll change later, but due to financial, we'll just keep it for 1 or 2 videos a month, the ones that talk, and I'll break down things in more detail. So I hope you understand that one. Okay, now we've got that, let's go on to number 4. And this is by a classic, and many of you have probably already seen this, but I do recommend checking out if you have not, which is called How Mega Man's Levels Do More with Less. And it's by Game Maker's Toolkit, Mark Brown. And it's fantastic because it just shows how much you can actually get away with detail from not a huge amount of objects. It's about that depth, not breadth. It's that sort of quality over quantity. And he talks about how they use that in Mega Man, how these, I don't want to say simple because I think that underestimates it, but the power of how they take these certain elements and are able to turn them into something even more detailed and able to make something fantastic. and make it feel like a breath of fresh air and something different compared to previous levels in the game, and how they separate. I think what's really nice about this as well is he even talks about the shapes of some of the levels and how that can just have a really interesting impact on people to make it feel so different as well. How these small details from going left to right or up to down can just make players feel like they're doing something completely different. And that's what I think is really interesting. So do check this one out. I do really, really recommend this one as well, because it was definitely something that I've enjoyed for sure. And it's, in my opinion, one of his best ones, just the detail that he's gotten into. So I really do appreciate that and what he's done with all of this amazing stuff. And now we're going to go on to my final recommendation, which is a really cool one. And this is by Radic. Oh, please let me pronounce this right. Vinch? Really am sorry there, Radic. I know I've not even remotely pronounced your name correctly, so I do sincerely apologize. And his work is on Super Mario Bros. 3 Level Design Lessons Part 1. And it's him essentially just breaking down a lot of the levels for Super Mario Bros. 3 and talking about what impact the position of certain things have subconsciously on the player, how they learn, how they're safe for the player, how they escalate the difficulty, and really take these sort of chances in a sense. And again, like the previous example, just by messing around with certain things on such a micro level can have a huge impact, and you can teach and learn a lot from this. Now, I have not had a chance to play Super Mario Bros. 3, it's a bit before my time, but you know, if it's Mario, you know there's always something that's good to take away from it, something always to learn. So I really do appreciate that Radic has taken the time to have a look at this, to really go in depth to this. So I really recommend checking this out. And, you know, I do think there's a lot to learn from here, as always. Okay, everyone, I'm sorry for the short episode, just a lot to do. Obviously, just landed and trying to get as much done as I can possibly in the short time I have before I head off to work tomorrow. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this one. I'm happy to be back as well. And the Metal Gear concert was amazing. That's why I was in Paris, to watch the Metal Gear concert. Got to meet with an old friend of mine who I used to work with back at Ubisoft, so that was great. Great catch up. And yeah, honestly, if you do get a chance, I got to see Kingdom Hearts Orchestra and now Metal Gear. I think it's amazing. I honestly think all that stuff is super, super cool. So yeah, really, really did enjoy that. Okay, everyone, I hope you have an amazing morning, lunch / afternoon or evening, whenever you're listening to this. I hope you're doing well. I will catch you all next time.